I want to talk about something that I think you've probably spotted in the photography industry, particularly if you're on any social media, and that is the influencer culture in photography and why it's getting a little too much. With the irony being, I have a brand, I have brand deals. A lot of you probably do, or people you love do. So I'm not asking you to kind of follow, but let's talk about why it's so prevalent in photography and some of the good it does and some of the damage it does. Because I think we're being sold to, and often we are noticing it's not as genuine as it could be. Think back to when you started learning photography. Maybe you got books, maybe magazines, maybe you went to college. Fantastic. But now day and age is people go onto YouTube or Instagram and they learn skills that way. That's not to say they don't go to college and uni, but you can go on there and you can find a million one people giving away LUTs and presets and God knows what else. And then you get these photographers with a huge social media following who haven't actually shot a client's work in ages because they're too busy creating content for the brands they're working with. And then they tell you that this latest piece of equipment, maybe a £3,000 camera, is going to change your life if you buy it. This changed my life. I see these videos all the time, but this isn't a working photographer. This isn't somebody who has to go out at 4 a.m. in the morning to shoot this. I mean, we all choose our own clients, I realize. But working photographer as opposed to someone who creates content are vastly different things, in my opinion, because you're creating content that looks good online, and that's your main objective. Where's the bread and butter workers? Where's the photographer that goes out and shoots the children's school photos? Where's that photographer? How good is your camera then? Is that going to change his life? There's this sense of disingenuousness about, is that even a word, around photography. We all have our affiliate links. I do. Anyone who has Amazon account, you can create affiliate links. There is affiliate links all the time. But surely it's time we had a little bit more of ethical marketing. And I know I'm not the only person who thinks this because I've had this discussion in groups. There's a lot of influencing going in to photography, especially as in all areas. But photography seems everyone has the camera that changes their life. And yet the next month they swap to another one that then changes their life. Are we not seeing through this now? A lot of what I'm seeing isn't really education. It's just brand deals wrapped up like it is. I see it. And I know we've got to pay the bills. I'm not poo-pooing that. But there is so much. And it never seems to be as good as they make it out to be. Or every now and then this photographer will go, this is the most amazing piece of equipment. This is the most. And then the next one will be, this is amazing. It's a real game changer. You know, those clickbaity things or the things they say. It's happening in photography more and more. Is it time we started de-influencing? Is it time we started saying enough? I'm kind of done with people telling me how great something is. One of the big problems here then is trust, right? Because how can you believe a photographer who's had a camera for less than a week telling you this is amazing? And brands are okay with this being put out, okay? How can you trust somebody who switches from camera brand to camera brand depending on who's lining their pocket for them? I'm not shaming them for doing it, but I think like brands definitely need to be adding some like honesty clauses in here. Like, you can't claim it's the best camera ever if you were literally using another system previously, but now you're being sponsored, you're going to say this one. I mean, like hyping up certain camera systems when you've not actually taken it out in the field to use. You're not using it for a genuine job. You're just doing a very controlled studio thing and going, oh, this camera's amazing for this. Or this lens is amazing for this. That's great. Field test it. Live with it a bit. Show me that you can use it. There's this whole sense of disingenuousness, and I can't be the only one who sees this. They're telling us to buy all this gear, and we know the saying, the best gear is the one you've got. Now, you can by all means buy other gear to make your life better. But I'm not sure I'm going to keep falling for the whole, this is the camera that's changed my life. This is the lens. This is the product. And I don't do that with my affiliated links. I don't do that with the products I use. I waited for ages before I started talking about the ones I use. I actually, with one of the retouching software I have a link with, I wouldn't say I liked it until I tested it for about a month. And I tested it on all skin textures, freckles, scars, everything. I wanted every variety because I can't say I endorse something if I don't actually know it. And I said this story ages ago. I was asked and offered money to say I used a brand, even though I'd never used it. They said, oh, we'll send you the product maybe 2-3 days before you're going to do this thing. There was a thing I was doing and they wanted me to platform them. And then I'm like, how can I stand on the stage and say that I used your product? How? On TikTok, I was reached out to say, hi, we want you to review this thing for us. I'm not going to say what product it was. We won't be able to send it out to you just yet, but if you could say how great it was and how much you were so excited to have it, and then we'll send it out to you. No, certainly not. I can't be the only one this is happening to. And I wonder how many people actually fall for it, do these videos, or take the money and say what they say. Because I'm starting to feel like certain times it's like, oh, you like this brand now? Oh, you like that brand last? Wait, I can't keep up with what you're doing, you know? The idea that we have to create money not just from photography but from brands is amazing, right? We have a dual income. I'm not slating that. But when I start to feel uncomfortable is when brands will happily, like for example, why would you give a product to somebody if you know that they are going to then go review the competitor? Or if they're not, have at least a clause in there to say, hey, you can't review the competitor for X amount. Because I don't think I'm buying it. I don't think I'm buying it. And it makes me trust the brands less. And the person who's doing it, I mean, get that dollar. I mean, if people are going to buy it, buy it. But maybe we need to start saying, hey, less of the clickbaity titles, which I've probably used in this one. But you get what I mean, right? Now, I do have a real life example for you. I'm going to not put names in because I think that's unfair. But there was, let's not even use photography, okay? Let's use a makeup brand. There was, make no comments about my makeup today. It's too hot. That's why my hair's a mess. It's absolutely sweltering and it's really hot in my studio. I'm recording this quickly before I do another session. Okay. There was a makeup brand that went around and paid all these people to use their makeup, right? And it wasn't the best makeup, okay? It was claggy on the skin. It wouldn't stay. And people were saying it's the best thing ever. And that this was the makeup to die for. They loved it. They thought it was amazing. Then people were calling this makeup out, punters like you and I who might have bought it. And suddenly these influencers said, oh yeah, I had problems with it, and did a whole turnaround on it. And were like, yeah, I didn't really like it. It damages not just the influencer's reputation, but it also damages us because it makes us less reluctant to want to buy. Now, I know it's just about makeup, but even in photography, we're seeing this, okay? I'm seeing people who do brand deals with certain things and then not actually enjoy using it. But because the money is better and brands will happily chuck money at them, they continue to use it. And I think there's this idea that if you get affiliate links, even if it's not paid, you're more of a legit photographer. What happens is you're damaging the photography industry by not being honest. There is no problem in you reviewing a product, loving a product, but you have to be honest about it. You cannot say something changed your life if all you've used it for is 48 hours. No. 48 hours is never enough time to test a product. Never. I don't care what anyone says. It's not. It's just not. But I also think we now have a problem as a photographer because there's this expectation that now we have to be a content creator. We have to create reels and pictures that are specifically about the product that we've been sent. So then we create scenarios that we probably wouldn't do, or do a shoot that we probably wouldn't actually do just to make this product look good and to sell this product. I'm all for it. You got to get that dollar. But what it says to the audience is this is how good it can be if you do this. Not that we actually had to stop what we normally shoot to recreate this to fit in with the brand's expectation. And then there's also this knock-on effect where people think because you have to be a photographer, you also have to be an influencer. You also have to be on TikTok 5 times a day. You have to have branded presets. You have to have this, you have to have this. And it's taking away a lot from photographers and putting a lot of stress and how do I say this? Pressure on new photographers to somehow try and be that. Okay. There are many influence photographers on YouTube, on Instagram that I trust. I do trust. Because when a product is bad, they tell us. Person who I love is Kaiwei he was formerly of Digital Rev. He's got his own channel now, and I'm not hyping up, but there's something very genuine about him. If he doesn't like something, he tells you. It doesn't feel disingenuous. Maybe you think it is, but whereas sometimes he's reviewed a product and he said it, I feel like said it how I would want it said to me. You go look at that product reviewed by somebody else and they use words like, this has changed my life, this is amazing, this is incredible. And I know who I'm going to trust more. I just know. He'll put it through its paces, or he'll say, I've only got 48 hours to test this. I'm not sure what I can photograph in this, but let's go through it. And you see it and he talks about things. I think for me, that's a better sell. That's a better sell to me. But I also want to say you don't need to be an influencer to be a good photographer. I know some amazing photographers who aren't influencers. They don't post. They don't do anything like that. They just enjoy the art of photography, however it presents them, and they have a great time. They're not bogged down by worrying about, oh, I need to create a reel for this brand. They're not. They're not tagging everybody left, right, and center because they need to get the eyeballs on their work so that they can be seen as a real photographer. Another thing that's really popular on social media is to show behind the scenes, right? You have this thing, right? You can see now I'm shooting with natural light. It's changing the quality. I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I don't want to put all the lights on because they're going to be warm, okay? I have yet to invest in some decent video lights. Come for me. I'm okay. And yet now we're seeing behind the scenes being heavily staged and it's all perfect. And now we're feeling like, oh, wait, hang on a minute. That's not what I look like. We're having this kind of this uncomfortable feeling that our working space isn't how it should be. We're not as good as we should be. It should be slick. It should be very aesthetic. So what can we do as photographers? What can we do? Well, I think we need to ask for more transparency and question our creators. How long have you had this camera? Did you try it like this? Have you done this with it? What's the battery life on it? What's it like? Does it overheat? What's it done like an all-day wedding? Like, really do it. And then ask for brands to do better. I'm all for brands that don't tell me that I need to give a positive review. I should want to give a positive review, but don't be telling me I have to. Okay. I think if you genuinely want people to believe in your brand, you should be comfortable with having some maybe not so great parts of it. Hey, it's an amazing camera. It feels good in my hand, but the grip's too small for me. I would like it a little bit longer or a bit whatever. The battery life isn't as great as it could be, but not to where you can buy extra batteries. But you have to be honest. I'm fed up with this tripe of it's the best thing ever when it's not, because the next thing next week will be the best thing ever. I also think we need to support real creators. People actually, they're hustling, actually working for a living, actually doing stuff, doing some good, getting the clients in, a working photographer as opposed to somebody who creates reels and gets content. There is nothing wrong, by the way, in doing your job and creating reels. But when you see photographers who aren't as genuine as they could do, constantly getting the deals because they get the followers, because they do the viral things, and it's like a double-edged sword. The brands need publicity. I get it. The brands need publicity, and then the only way to get the publicity is to go to the person with the highest turnover. But I'm also like looking at them going, okay, we need to put some parameters on you. Like, you've reviewed this camera, and so it's the best thing ever. Maybe we don't send it to you because you've already told us it's the best thing ever, or you just did this lens adaptation. We've got one. We're not going to send it to you. Like, there has to be something there. Like, there has to be something, because it feels like every 5 seconds I'm going onto YouTube or social media and someone's found the greatest thing ever. But they found the greatest thing ever the day before, or the week before, or the month before. And it's just constantly the greatest thing ever. And we fall for it because we honestly we have this gear acquisition syndrome, right? Gas. We feel like if we get that thing, we're going to be the next great photographer. We're going to be amazing. It buys into this whole philosophy that we need to have the best of everything in order to succeed, when actually we need to train ourselves to be good rather than just running off and buying another bit of equipment. Now, influencer culture isn't going anywhere. It really isn't. And it's not even inherently bad. It would be wrong of me to say it is. But it doesn't replace authenticity, education, and trust that has been built over because you have a good reputation. I think we should push toward brands to be more honest and tell them how it is if we don't like it. I think it's okay to teach and say, I'm still figuring this out, but this is what I do. Be honest about it. I also think you can build a community without feeling like a walk-in sales funnel. So here's my challenge. Can we be more like that photographer that just creates because we creates YouTube channels talking about stuff like this, enjoys what we do? Because I'll be honest, if I see one more person telling me this is the greatest thing ever, I'm going to be like, I want people to show the mess more. I want to see more authenticity. I want to see the gripes, the miserable, the process, the reality. I don't just want the polished grid anymore. I don't. Because photography, it deserves to have more than just a curated content creation. Is that even a correct term to say? I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I want more genuine influence than just thinking of the money and creating what they want you to do. It's a hard sell. You need the money, so you have to abide by the rules. But I'm just like, are we not done with everyone selling us the most perfect item that we have not yet had and that we need to part of our money? This is a topic of discussion. As someone who does have brand deals, I try really hard to test them out, and I don't make really videos dedicated just to them unless it's part of the deal. And even then, I show you what I like about it because I genuinely like it. Like I said, with my retouch software I worked on it for months before I even considered telling you that I was working with them, because I needed to make sure it worked with all my clients, and it did. That's why I did it. I talk about my affiliate links because I genuinely have them and use them. You aren't going to see me fall for, hey, Khandie, can you review this product and tell everyone it's great? No. And in fact, if you follow me on Instagram, every now and then I'll do live unboxings and you'll see my initial reaction. I don't hide stuff. And I think more brands should get into behind that, because you want genuine sales. Of course, we want everyone to think our stuff's amazing, but everyone's telling us it's amazing. And actually what it comes across as is very disingenuous. And it actually makes me not want to buy it. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Maybe we can have a discussion on this in the comments below. I would love to have a discussion. I'm all for brands and brand deals and affiliate codes, like I said. But I think we need to be careful who we buy from and believe, because there's definitely the rise of the person who constantly says how amazing it is. And some of us know it's not. And there's been some products that have been reviewed that are absolutely pants, but they're still amazing. See you all in the next video. I'm really sweating. My hair's a mess. It's hot in here and the light's fading. Ciao.